called you today apart from the breakfast. Then after that, I have also some guests. I want you to pardon me for the time being. I will introduce them once the chief guest comes in. You've been a very good, valued partner in Harambee. I want to recognize my former PS. This is the team which trusted in us. When watu walikuwa nasema Harambee naenda wapi? Commissioner Madenge here, they trusted us, and you people trusted us, and you continue to trust us. Please, please don't tire, okay? But tell us how you feel we need to improve, where we want to go, how you want us to go there, and let's create an institution here. You know, when you go to retirement, for those who have retired, the trick number is number 5. The first 5 years after retirement, if you manage the 5 years, the sky is the limit. You can go as far as you can. But I can also tell you one thing. Study has shown people who are financially independent, live a very happy retirement than the people who are struggling in retirement because of lack of finances. Remember, as you get older, the body starts becoming weak. Ile oma ilikuwa inakupata ya 3 days inaanza kuwa ya 1 month. All right? Watoto wameenda. They are also struggling on their way to make their line. So if kama hujajipanga in terms of savings, you start cursing your kids thinking that they are supposed to be coming to support you. All right? Instead of you becoming a blessing to them, all right? So the opportunity you have taken to ensure that you are a millionaire, that is an indication that you are going to be a blessing to your family. Please, let's save. This is your money. Hakuna pahali inaenda. Because like Kipto with 1.5, 15%, 1.5 every month, every year, within 7 years, he will have recouped his 10 million, and still his 10 million will be intact. All right? Atakuwa amepata 10 million as interest, and still his 10 million will be still there. Hiyo ni yake ataikutana naye akuwa retirement. And I'm sure because he's still saving, maybe you'll be at around 20, 30 million. If we say at 15%, Kipto will be going home with how much? At 30% of 4.5 million every year. Divide by 12. He doesn't need a flat where he's going to be told, oh, mteja ameama, hajalipa, land rates, iko kwa riparian load, hiyo ana shida yeye analala tu anaamka. February ikifika, pesa pap. February ikifika, pesa pap. So please, let's save. Let's save. And as one of my colleagues has said, Kabukuru amesema, pesa ikiingia, ni kama kuna kitu ingine inakuja. When you have money is when the son of your brother becomes sick, your aunt, blah, blah. So hiyo pesa unafanya nini? Na kama ni brother akianza kukulipa anakuambia tukutane kwa hoteli. So mnakula kidogo, si ndio? So you never get back the 100,000 you gave. You get less with what you spent in as you meet, because you meet, you share. Kama mnakula ile ingine soda ya baba, kabisa, it will be another mathematics. Are we together? So please, we called you to tell you thank you first, and also tell you that please, let's save, and we have an opportunity to make you billionaires. Billionaires. Osorea said he wants to be a billionaire. Now, if there is somebody who has a savings of 150 million, just at 15%, how much do you think you'll be earning? Those are figures we don't want to talk. People have decided that savings is very key, because you save and you create enterprise. You create business. You create opportunities. You become an employer. All right? Money speaking for you. So I will ask George to start off, and then in the middle, When the CS comes in, then I'll come back, we introduce him, and then we proceed. Thank you, George.
Makofi kwa Bwana Chairman. Thank you very much. I would like to make some 2 short presentations. The first part, I want to give you the status of Harambe as it is today. And then in the second part, I will be making a presentation on what the board and management would like us all to do to turn around Harambe Sacco. We started this journey of turning around Harambe in the year 2019, and we've been having some themes to guide us. So in 2019, we decided to acknowledge that something went wrong with Harambe Sacco. So we created a theme where we were saying, we reclaim the lost glory. And we wrote down what it was when Harambe was glorious, and it was very painful. So we achieved a number of the items which we listed as things. We went on also to appreciate that once again, we lost our glory. Can we identify what we can do to improve Harambe? So the theme for the year 2020 was the Harambe we want. Then we went ahead, the board, and then the representatives of the members, they are called the delegates. We went through a retreat. We made a list of the things which we thought if we did, then we would achieve the Harambe we want. Then the following year, that is now 2021, we had identified some aspects which we didn't clear in the year 2020. We had a theme, transforming for better, and that is the year we digitalized most of our services. So from 2021, you can actually access all Harambe Sacco loans on your mobile phone. We continued, and in 2022, we said somebody is remaining behind. So we brought a theme, we were calling it Mteja Kwanza. Then last year, we looked at our strategic plan, and we found we had a very nice purpose. The purpose for Harambe is to empower members to live with dignity forever. So most of last year, what we were doing, we created a long-term loan of 96 months. Then we were looking at our members who were struggling. And we were calling them, restructure your loan so that you can have something remaining in the payslip so that you live with dignity. Now, we have experimented for the last 5 years. I'm going to show you the figures in a short while, and we seem to be getting it right. If we seem to be getting it right, why then not turn around at an accelerated rate from 2024? We have therefore come up with a theme for 2024 where we are saying that this is the turning point. And here, I want to invite you to repeat with me as a good teacher and you as good students, for you to remember the theme for 2024, we will repeat it 2 times. Can we repeat, this is the turning point? And let's repeat with energy. Thank you very much. Now, I'll give you some statistics just to remind us where is Harambe today. First, we will start with the membership. We are not doing badly off. We are 79,000 members. Unfortunately, a number of us are getting into dormant level, but still that is a reasonable number to work with. Then, in terms of branches, where can you find Harambe physically? We have retained what we had in 2018. You find Harambe in Nairobi, Mombasa, Nkuruma Road, in Nakuru, Kenyatta Avenue, in Oginga Odinga Street, that is Kisumu, and then in Eldoret, you'll find Harambe Sacco in Moi University Pension Plaza. Karibu sana Bwana PS. Thank you, Piers. Then the other aspect I wanted to mention, we were experimenting with agents like Safaricom agents. We did a pilot with 25. It is not working for Harambe, so we have not increased those. Then in terms of staff, we are not very many. We have 136 staff members as at end of 2023, but the number will go up slightly in the year 2024. We want to pay a little more attention on areas like audit, risk, and ICT. In terms of where is Harambe today, we start with total assets. Total assets. End of 2023, total assets of Harambe were standing at 38.7 billion Kenya shillings. Let me make it easy when we talk about total assets. What is it? This is the total money which all of us here, we have contributed, and Harambe as an institution is holding them. Or in other words, if a rich man came from Dubai and wanted to buy this business called Harambe Sacco, our beginning bargaining price would be 38.75 billion. That is the value, and I want to interest you, in the 5 years that we are talking of for transformation, we have moved from 26 billion to 38 billion. That is a growth of about 12 billion Kenya shillings. And we are quite clear, in another 3-4 years, we should be back to what we were. We were number one. I normally tell the director of cooperatives that with regards to the Sacco movement in Kenya, first there was Harambe Sacco, then the others came. So we just need to go back and Harambe to take its responsibility as the leader in the Sacco movement. I also want to draw your attention to the loans and advances. By end of 2023, total loans and advances stood at 29 billion. 29 billion. Then I want to interest you on the growth. 2018, we were at 15 billion. So in 5 years, we have grown from 15 billion to 29 billion. That is about 14 billion growth, almost 2 times what the society was 5 years ago. Good growth. But sad news, just below that in my presentation is the growth in deposits. Deposits has grown from 15 billion to 24 billion. That is a growth of 6 billion. So if loans grew by 15 billion and the deposits grew by 6 billion, definitely there is a mismatch. Where did the money come from? So at some point, we had to seek financing from external lenders. So you will find in our books of accounts for end of 2023, we had an external loan of 3 billion. It is not sustainable. Now, the other aspect I wanted to bring to your attention, there is what we call core capital. Core capital is basically share capital and reserves. In 2018, our core capital was standing at 1.6 billion. This has improved to 4.75 billion end of 2023. Fairly good growth, but not adequate. On what we call share capital, that is where we are saying each member should have a minimum share capital of 30,000. 2018, we were at 1.8. This has since grown to 2.3 billion. Is that adequate? No. With our total assets of 38 billion, our share capital should be at about 4 billion Kenya shillings. So we will be making a case here so that we should be able to comply. We are not compliant with regards to what prudential ratios require of us. I also want to draw your attention to what we call institutional capital. And I'll explain what it is. What is institutional capital? This should be wealth belonging to Harambee as an institution and not any individual of us. In short, if we decided that we are tired with being members of Harambee today, and each person to take their money, so everybody takes away their money from Harambee, so that Harambee, we close it. Unfortunately, in the year 2018, we would have had a shortfall of 267 million. We are happy to announce today, if all of us, everybody, you took your money, we would have a change, a balance of 2.4 billion. That is money that does not belong to any individual of us here. That is what we call institutional capital. Very good, from negative 267 to 2.4 billion. Is that adequate? No. The regulator, whom we expect here, asks us or requires us to be at 8% of total assets, which I mentioned to you, 38.7. So we are not compliant. This is only 6.2% of the total assets. We should be at about 4 billion Kenya shillings in order to comply. Then I wanted to pick out a line on total revenue. How are we performing? How is the business performing when we compare over the years? Or what is total revenue in the first place? So total revenue is the income we generate when we lend out. We charge interest on the loans and advances that we give. For those of us who operate FOSA accounts, we levy some charges, like if you pass your salary, we process salary, we charge you some 200 shillings. When you withdraw, we charge you some 40, 50 shillings. When we populate that FOSA income, the transaction income, and the interest income, and the dividend that we might earn from other investments, that is what makes total revenue. In the year 2018, in the whole year, total revenue was 2.65 billion. 2.65 billion. This has improved between 2018 to 2023 to 5.68 billion. So end of last year, our total revenue stood at 5.68 billion. For those of us who like mathematics, you might want to ask yourself, how much can 100 shillings at Harambee generate in a year? So you take the 5.68 billion, you divide by the 38 billion, the total assets, and it will give you about 15 shillings and 30 cents. So at Harambee today, for every 100 shillings invested, we generate an income of 15 shillings and 30 cents. Is that the best? No, that is not the best. Our best should be at around 17.5 shillings in a year, and we are heading there. I also wanted to draw your attention to the surplus, the net surplus. 2018, we could only retain about 82 million. This has improved drastically. In the year 2023, even after paying 12% on dividend and paying 8.5%, we were still able to have a net surplus of 919 million. We will continue with the same trend till we comply with the institutional capital, which I mentioned to you. We are at 2.4 billion as opposed to 4 billion. As I move away from those numbers, I want to bring to your attention the growth in profitability emanating from the growth in loans demonstrates that we have market for loans at Harambee. There is market for loans at Harambee. If we had more money, we would have generated more income. Away from that, I want to draw your attention to some selected products which we thought we need to remind ourselves about. And the first of it was a savings scheme which we started last year. I'm sure you have seen in your phones SMS talking about 52 weeks challenge. This is an idea which started somewhere between Canada and America, and it is saving on fun. You challenge yourself that every week you save some amount of money. This is how it goes. If you start with 500, for example, on week 1, on week 2, you double. On week 3, you double what you doubled. So if you start with 500, for example, by December, you'll have saved 68,000. And last year when we started, quite a number of us participated. By the end of the year, we had saved over 14 million. That is cumulatively. But one gentleman was able to save up to 812,000. And in this scheme, at the end of the year, we give it back to you to do whatever you want with it. The other item we wanted to draw your attention to is what we introduced last year, Holiday Savings Scheme. We are not very good at going for holidays, especially those of us who are in 4th floor, 5th floor. But the younger ones, those who are in the 20s, in the 30s, they are very good at going for holidays. You've heard of Vasha Manenos. They go to Naivasha, like today, I think. Don't go to Naivasha. There is a ferry rally there. So leave the young ones with Subaru to go. But we are also saying, as Harambe Sacco, why not make it interesting to be a member of Harambe? Why not create an avenue for members of Harambe? You save, and at a certain date, we go to a holiday together. This scheme is already working in a number of circles, and we thought it should also work with us here. Those of us who have had an opportunity to go for holiday, holiday is interesting when you know your neighbor, or you go with somebody you already know. And this year, we are saying, for Harambe Sacco, even if only 2 people join the scheme, we will take them to selected destinations. And we are saying, there could be a member of Harambe Sacco who has never gone to Mombasa. So we will put people in the SGR and take them to Mombasa. We invite you. And we already have in your folders a brochure indicating to you the date and the amount involved. You can save towards the same. At the same time, there is possibility that there is at least one person here who has never been to South Africa. And we will take members, and we will show you next year when we come for such a function that some members were able to visit South Africa. The same with Dubai, and the same with Hong Kong in the year 2024. Then next year, we will pick other venues. In the year 2021, we were promoting fixed deposit accounts. And we want to thank you because the response was very positive. We collected 188 million. That supported our business very positively. We still have the same. If you have got some cash for whose project is about to start, put it in fixed deposit account at Harambe. We will generate for you some income. Then business account, this one I will take about 1 minute. And first, we want to thank all of us who have opened business accounts at Harambe. If we are able to offer you and make you access your money on your phone, why should you have your business account elsewhere? So if you have a matatu, open a business account at Harambe. As your drivers deposit the money, you get the SMS showing you driver X has already deposited. If you have any rental, the same. Your farm income, the same. And why are we asking for this? For the period that you have not utilized that money, we are able to lend it out to another member. And since already we have a number of members who are patronizing the same, you are guaranteed your money is there when you will need it. And then the last one, as I hand over to the PS, is Toto Junior. And I want to stress to us, most of us, we are in 4th floor, 5th floor, 60s. We would like to make Harambe better. Then we need to think of, we are leaving it to who? We can't leave it to people whom we don't know. For that reason, we are encouraging members. Let's open accounts for our children and our grandchildren. I know most of us here, we are now no longer very active in the most important room, but at least we have grandchildren. So these grandchildren, I want to ask you, open for them accounts. Minimum contribution is only 500 shillings. The advantage of that is that at the end of the day, they'll already know what it is to save. And when we are not there and we are talking of the share capital and the likes, there will be people to transfer it to. And so far, so good. We already have over 500 children's accounts, but that is not enough. If we have 79,000 members, and in Kenya today, each family has about 1.5 kids, then we should be talking of almost 300,000 kids as members of Harambe. So as you go back home, I want you to reflect, your kid, your grandchild, they should have an account at Harambe. And we allow even children who are not officially registered in your home, but of course they are your children, so bring them to Harambe. We accept them all. And I want to mention about micro-medical scheme. This one came up from such a meeting in the year 2022. We were asked, especially the senior citizens, to come up with a product that will enable them access quality medical services comparable to what they were accessing when they were on employment. We went out there and we have partnered with AAR. AAR is a middle-level hospital, especially here in Nairobi, but they have also signed MOU with a number of hospitals across the country. And the scheme is fairly affordable. The premium, annual premium, is 18,000, which if you don't want, you just come to Harambe and we'll give it to you. 18,000 will afford you an inpatient of up to 500,000, outpatient of up to 100,000. And in case you have another dependent, you add 7,500. So we strongly encourage you, those of us who don't have medical schemes, you're most welcome to participate in this one. Oh, sorry.
Let me cut George. Let me interrupt his speech. I work at 2 full stop, then he's going to start there because our PS cooperatives, Patrick Lemi is here with us, and but he's rushing somewhere for another function, and we don't want him to leave without a word of wisdom. So allow me to allow you to call him to come our Salimie as we wait for our CS. George will come back again after our PS speaks to us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Because I want to see you clearly. The chairman of Harambe Sacco and the millionaires of Harambe Sacco, good morning. I suspect heaven must look like this because you look calm, collected, and very happy. And the one who said money is silent, you should come to this room and see how silent the room is. And congratulations, and thank you for the trust you have shown to this circle. To save to the levels you have saved, and even to make time and come today and have this discussion. Chairman, I don't think you should take that for granted. Asanteni sana. You know, I think I told this story to the delegates, and again, I apologize that I was unable to make it for your meeting. I was traveling out of the country, the NDM for this year. My association with Harambe, we did way back when I encountered a good land called Glandis. My very first piece of land I owned as a man, I want to thank the people of Harambe Sacco who thought about buying the piece of land in Donholm, because that's where I bought the land. I proudly own that land, Harambe Sacco Estate. Plot number 326 is mine, courtesy of the visionaries who patronize this Sacco. So all the time I hear about Harambe Sacco, I ask what is happening there. And they keep on asking the chairman, how is the Sacco doing? So today he told me they are launching a share drive, institutional capital. And you know it is very easy, especially if you look at what the people you have here. Especially if you look at the numbers Harambe Sacco is reporting. And thank you, because it's not easy, Chairman, it is not easy to take care of people's money. It is a calling to desist from the cancer we suffer in the movement. And I want to recognize we don't take that for granted, good governance. And we see from Harambe, and especially from the glorious past, the challenges it had, and the resilience, the will to rise up to be where you are today and where you want to go. My appeal to you is support this Sacco. You know, I see, because I've been a member of a Sacco for a while. Even when I bought that plot from Harambe, I took a loan from Total Sacco then. But what I see is that we take loans, like I apply for a loan, development loan, say 30 million from Harambe Sacco. Then, because the project, you don't build it. See, it takes 2 years to do a nice building. But you take the 40 million from Harambe Sacco, a development loan, then you take it to Standard Chartered Bank. Then unatoa kidogo kije. How can we grow the cooperative ecosystem? How can we trust that you can take that development loan, but instead of taking the money out of the Sacco ecosystem, you put it in Harambe Sacco still, and do the same thing you are doing with the money while at Standard Chartered Bank? What is it that makes us run to the bank institution with the resources? Because we put liquidity constraints when we withdraw our money and take it there. What is it? Because last year I think we were in Woku, I think in Canada. We were in, this year in Vancouver. This year we were in, actually 3 weeks ago in General Affairs Conference in Washington. And what we hear from those people who have perfected the heart of credit unions, as they call them as Saccos, is that it is a one-stop shop. From insurance, from the operations, from the everything, it is done at the credit union. But when we come to us, we are quickly running outside our ecosystem. That's why we get this constraint. I think I'm told the threshold for institutional capital is 8%. Is it? Is the SASRA requirement is? Harambe is at 5%. 6.2. Chairman, I think the task at hand is very easy. It is you need to tell this, because these are the owners of Harambe Sacco, the super savers of Harambe Sacco. They are the ones you need to convince. And the currency of conviction is not to stand here and tell them God is good all the time. It is trust. They must trust that the investment, because they have uses for this money. They could be millionaires, but also millionaires have uses. Sidio? they must trust that the money they are putting at Harambe Sacco is safe, and they can sleep soundly knowing that the decisions the management of Harambe Sacco is making is the best interest of their deposits. Millionaires, are we asking for so much? Kuambia wangalie pesa yetu. If you do that, you will not only get to 8%, you'll be talking about institutional capital of above 10%. And I keep on telling people the future of the cooperative movement, the future of SACCOs is in good governance. If we demonstrate that we can take care of the resources of the people who trust them to us, there is no limit of how this movement can go. Today, if you look at the national deposits, I think it should be around 5 trillion, and the movement is contributed around 1 trillion. And that is significant. What more can we do? And you see, you hear the president talking about value chains, then you ask, what are these value chains? It is because if you look at the SACCO movement as is in this country, most of the members are salaried individuals. And if you look at this, the structure of our population, less than 4 million people are salaried. The question is, how do we tap to savings of these other 18 or so millions? And that's why there was a rush, I think 10 years ago, you hear once like opening the board so that we tap to other people who are unemployed. But the only way we can grow the unemployed spectrum of people who are savers is by looking at how do we monetize their efforts. And it is demonstrated by a focused approach through the value chain which this government is trying to achieve under the bottom-up economic agenda. We see SACCOs thrive. For example, if you look at in Muranga, for example, you hear Uniters. Uniters has no people as employed. If you go to Meru, you hear Yetu. If you go to Baringo, you hear Skyline. We need to grow the catchment of our savings from other people who are not employed. We estimate 18 or so million Kenyans are not on a pay slip. And Harambe Sacco, in this Nairobi, the city of hustlers, there are very few people who are employed. Please venture, and I know you are doing that, venture to the other people, the other players in the economy, the boda-bodas, the MSMEs, bring them to the savings world. Because it can be very lonely here in the Millionaires Club. We need more people to join the Millionaires Club. I didn't want to stop there. I came in last night from Siaya, and it's not actually a fashion I'm going to, you understand, the African culture. I'm going for a funeral in Meru, and Meru is quite a bit of a drive. So I said, let me pass here. It looked like it was a very good idea, but I'm grateful that I had the opportunity of speaking to you and make the case for Harambe Sacco share drive. Please trust them. Please give them more. And we as a State Department, where we sit as a Principal Secretary, I'll ask him, when I meet him, I'll ask him the hand questions. Where have you invested your cash reserves? I'll ask him. Because we see there's something called finder's fee in the industry. Finder's fee. Unakuta director ambatua finder's fee. Akwenda kwa mkutano, you want to influence the decision of where the money will be put. This is the finder's fee. It compromises the interest of the members because of this finder's fee. We must find a way of legalizing finder's fee in the movement. What is finder's fee? No, the movement as a bank. I really want to thank Cooperative Bank for what it has done for the movement. The Cooperative Bank has stood with the movement for many, many years. We have no doubt about the contribution. We see many SACCOs coming to problems around there. We call Mr. Mudoki and tell him, do what you can do. Give us a moratorium. Don't do this, don't do that. But when it comes to decisions about where you want to put your money, you'll find a circle like Harambe Sacco. When you rank the banks, maybe you're in the top 30 of the banks, you'll find a decision being made by a board of directors of Harambe Sacco to go and put the money in a bank which is smaller than Harambe Sacco because of finder's fee. You have to kubali. You know, there has to be rationality. There has to be symmetry, the decisions made. If today I'm a PS, I make a decision, my former PS was here, he makes the same decision. There has to be, you can see these people were thinking, they didn't know each other, but because what was the driver was the interest of the members, the decisions they made was the same. Because truth that come in different shades. Inakuanga barabara kidogo. I'll do my bit to ensure that the people who are you entrust with your savings are doing the right thing. And if they're not doing the right thing, we will call them off. Sio ni sawa sawa? You guys do your bit, give him money. Sisi tutafanya kazi yetu ya kuchunga hiyo mali. And we talk with Sasra to ensure that these numbers are looked at very badly. But because of, despite of everything we do, we still, you know the moment, and allow me to talk about the law a little bit. The moment is under one principle, a core principle, called democracy. But democracy in its own nature spins surprises. It can give you good people, and it can also give you not so good people. But it's democracy. And that is where the law, Cap 490, the one we are using, and we are trying to review it, as you may know, we have the act now in Parliament, has some certain parameters. By the 30th of April, every cooperative must have an NGM. And the core responsibility of the members is to come and exercise the ungodly responsibility of electing leaders, and leaders who are going to take care of their interest. And the law has done its bit, but again, democracy. You fight the ones with the delegates, they'll come and elect delegates. And you see, the law assumes if the delegates don't do their work within 12 months, again, you have an opportunity to remove them at the end of the year. And so the delegates elect the board members. The biggest job description of the team along the links is to hire and fire a CEO. The CEO is in charge of day-to-day runnings, and he advises the chairman a lot. But he's not advising him to the best interest of your members. What would Malonza not do his work? To fire him and get somebody who does things. We hear stories, and the former PS can tell you, unakuta finance director anakuambia, unajua CEO aliniambia nitoe hii vitabu ni ya members, ile ukweli niweke chini. So when you come for NGM, good numbers, assets 18 billion, lakini na nyinyi members hata kuuliza na hii 18 billion iko wapi? Is it a hand question? 18 billion pesa ya kuweka chini ukatae kuonekana? Asking simple question. Cash reserves 4 billion iko wapi? Sidio? Please help us, members. As we are saying, we are doing our bit. Also help us by doing your bit. Ask questions. It is not really a love affair. Ni lazima tulizane maswali. Whether they make the chairman happy or unhappy, it is your responsibility to ask questions. Hii cash reserve yetu, hii institutional capital unatuambia tutoe, imeenda wapi, imewekwa wapi? And that's how it works. That's how democracy is supposed to work. We must ask questions. Unajua sasa Kenya ukiuliza swali unasema huyo mtu PS ako na fitina. It's how it's supposed to do. If you know where you have invested the institutional capital, you can't ask me to come and tell members to give you money and then you tell me not to ask where you put the money. You invest. To me, how you want to talk to the people is that the interest of the people and be the sole guiding parameter when it comes on how you are going to invest their earned savings. And our bit we are going to do. Let me stop there because I have to dash to Meru. I wish you all the very best. I know you win the call of the chairman. Give him the instrument he requires to move Harambe Sacco to the next level. Thank you very much, and God bless you. You kindly allow me to leave. I know it is bad manners, but I seek your indulgence.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Makofi kwa PS as he leaves. Okay, we'll go back to our program, and I will ask George to come and continue as we wait for our guest of honor.
I was telling us about the micro medical insurance, where I was telling us that we have partnered with AAR, and the annual premium is 18,000, and you are covered for 100,000 outpatient, 500,000 inpatient, and you are, if you have a dependent, you add premium of 7,500. It allows you to go to, we registered an insurance agency in the year 2021. You've heard of the PS saying that in the developed economies, the credit unions offer all-round services. Same case with Kenya, we will reach there. So as Harambe, we have an insurance agency, and we are saying, don't change your insurance company, change the broker. Why? If that service passes through Harambe, there is an additional income which we can distribute amongst ourselves at the end of the year. And so far, so good. A number of our members are patronizing the same, and we want to thank you for that. Then I also want to draw your attention to M-Survey. We are going to be sending you some SMS with from a number 24622. We will be seeking your feedback. And this will operate like what you have in Java. If you go to Java and you do a meal, if you pay via your phone, they'll send you some SMS asking you questions. Same case with us. We want to put our staff on their toes. We get the feedback, and that should be able to help us make decisions on our services. On land, I'm sure you remember Kabukuru mentioning that we are facilitating the same. There is Eldoret, there is Kitengela, there is Nzoiani and Katani. We can still put our wealth in the same. That marks the end of my first presentation. The second short presentation is about shares drive. Currently, each member has got share capital of about 30,000. A few of us, of course, has a little more. But now we are bringing a case where we want to ask us, can we put more in share capital voluntarily? The minimum statutory 30,000, that is regulated. That is a requirement that if you're a member of a Sacco, you must be a shareholder in that Sacco. But now at Harambe, we want to say, let's have this as an investment vehicle where you buy shares of Harambe exactly the same way you'd buy shares of Safaricom or Equity Bank or Cooperative Bank. So why do we want members of Harambe to buy share capital? 3 reasons. In my earlier presentation, I mentioned to you that we do not have adequate cash flow. We still have to go to an external lender, and you saw in my presentation, by the close of last year, we were owing a lender up to 3 billion Kenya shillings. And we're very happy our lender and partner is in the house. He'll be introducing himself. Now, that is not sustainable, because when we borrowed that money, interest rate was at about 10%. Today, interest rate has gone to as high as 18%. For that reason, we want to come to the members and inform the members that our business is challenged. We can't operate on borrowed funds. So we want to encourage the members. We finance the Harambe from within ourselves. Number two, and the regulator is here, although he's not going to give you his remarks or examine you today, we are not yet compliant. And you heard us repeating to the peers, our institutional capital, we are not yet compliant. Our core capital, which is share capital and reserves, we are not yet compliant. And if you recall, I told us, our share capital today stands at 2.4 billion. For us to be compliant, we need to be at minimum 4 billion Kenya shillings. For that reason, we are coming back to us and saying, no. Let's give an opportunity to the members. We invest in Harambe equity, and we just do away with this non-compliance. The last one, competition is becoming very stiff. You recall I indicated to you the loan growth. There is good market for Harambe cash. We have customers. However, we don't have enough money. For that matter, we give very short-term loans. The maximum so far is 96 months. Some of our competitors are already doing up to 120 months. For us to give those long-term loans, which our members indeed need, we need to have better cash flow. We did some very interesting mathematics, and you will agree with me that we must make a decision. Last year, 2023, we incurred interest on external borrowing to the tune of 445 million Kenya shillings. In addition, we incurred another extra 76 million Kenya shillings on overdraft. If you add the two, that is about 530. So the question we would want to ask ourselves, why can't we invest and we redeem this expenditure, which would have formed part of our dividend and our interest on deposits? Bad news, and a little bit shameful, all the 79,000 members of Harambe, we paid dividend at 12%, and that was only 283 million. So 79,000 investors, the best we earned in 2023, 283 million. Opportunity we lost because we were not having that money, we had to borrow it from somewhere, is 530 million. So this is the case that we want to present before us this morning, that we invest in equity of Harambe, we bridge that gap of cash flow, and we better our performance and our returns. Harambe is very profitable. As I mentioned to you, every 100 shillings invested at Harambe, the return, the income it generates is 15 shillings and 30 cents. And that is at the moment. With a little more improvement, this should go to 17 shillings and 50 cents. We did a small comparison, and we wanted to see what is the return that other institutions gave out in the year 2023. So in 2023, KCB gave a return on investment at 9.76. Then equity, 9.76. Safaricom, it even went down, 8.73. Britam, about 5%. The best actually was Cooperative Bank. Cooperative Bank was 12.45%. So on our case, if we are already incurring interest on external borrowing at 18%, why not offer 15% to the members, and we do away with the external borrowing? And also at the same time, why not give an opportunity to the members to own Harambe Sacco? The chairman mentioned to you, and we must admit Some of us are sharper than the rest of us. There is a gentleman, Major Kipto. He's not an old guy, he's a young man. When Defense Sacco was formed, a number of the members left to go and join Defense Sacco. Then they were disposing, in fact, literally disposing their share capital at discounted prices. So what he did, he came to the same Harambe Sacco, borrowed at 12%, then bought share capital from the members who were existing to the tune of 10 million by the end of 2023. When we were paying dividend, as the chair told you, we paid him 1.2. What is my case here? Harambe Sacco is an equal investment decision. And the responsibility, it is even better than what you would do or what you'd get if you are in the rental business. In the rental business, those of us here in Nairobi, you know what we are getting. Occupancy rate below 60% at the moment. But with the share capital, once you have bought it, there is no occupation rate. You are waiting for December, and you are waiting for your 15%. In our plan for this year, 2024, dividend share capital, we have budgeted for 15%. We have already contacted the regulator that we want to guarantee at least 15% for the next 5 years, so that whoever is persuaded and invests in this share capital, you get back your money. We've done the mathematics. If you invest 200,000 or 1 million shillings, you will recoup the same on the 7th year. So in 7 years, whatever amount you have invested, you will have recouped it back. And of course, if you were to compare that with property, that is much faster, because property, you require between 13 and 20 years to recoup your investment. Even if you think of matatu, the risks are too many. You think of farming, the risks are too many. But here, we have ready customers, as I demonstrated to you, that in 5 years, we are able to double the loan book. So my case to you this morning is, let's invest in Harambe Sacco, and our target is 4 billion shillings between the year 2024 and 2025. We will have done away with external financing, and the profitability or the leakage that we incur in that area, that should come and be distributed amongst the members. There is no reason whatsoever why we can have any financial institution doing better than Harambe. In that case, we want to employ you. We are going to be sending you more information. We want to employ you, buy share capital of Harambe exactly the same as you'd buy a matatu, you'd buy a rental income, or invest in property. And it is very easy. We can demonstrate to you how you will be doing it even on your phone. And I think I want to ask one of my colleagues, Kabukuru, I've forgotten how we do it. I don't know whether you're around. It is very easy, and I want us to test that you can actually, each share of Harambe Sacco, by the way, is 100 shillings. So you can buy from 100 shillings to any amount. Why any amount? The threshold is 1/5 of the total shareholding. Currently, we are at about 2.4, 2.5 billion. It means the threshold as at now is 500 million. Of course, it is very rare that any of us here will buy 500 million. So as you leave this place, you think about what we have shared. The message is, let's invest in share capital. You are guaranteed income every year. And Kabukuru here is going to demonstrate to us how we can do this on phone. But we will also do it on paper, and we'll be reminding you, even after this meeting, we'll be reminding us again and again, as a result of the launch, as a result of the breakfast, we were talking about this. What is your position? Kabukuru.
Once more, habari zenu. Tuko na simu kila moja hapa. Now before I get into the dynamics of the phone, let me just, Daktari appealed to your logical sense. I want to appeal to your emotional sense. A friend of mine, this year when dividends were declared, hakupata pesa mingi. He had about 2.3 million shares, not deposits. The highest shareholder is called Kipto. He was at 10 million. But this gentleman had 2.3 million. At 12%, he took home around 200 and something, 40. Now he was telling me by 2024 December, he will be at basic 3 million. At 15%, he will be taking home something like 450,000. And I asked him, so what is your motivation? And this friend of mine told me, how much do you pay your rent? And I said, I pay around 35,000. And he told me, kwa shares peke yake nikipata 450, na kwa deposit zangu ni around 3 million, nipate another almost 300. Sindakuwa na kitu kama 700-800. I will be owning an apartment without having lifted a bag of sand, a bag of cement. Because every month, out of 700, because 35 times 12 inakuja si 400 and something. So huyo mwanaume akaniambia, ndugu yangu, unajua iko kuenda shule kuchoka, na iko kuenda shule kusoma na kuelewa. I went to school, and this math is very simple. You can build a house, you will be painting watu wakitoka, you can build a house, you will be looking for people to rent. But mimi nina invest in Harambee. Akaka 400, 500 every year ka share capital, ni enough kunilipia watoto shule. Ni kama wewe uko na apartment yako. So ladies and gentlemen, what Daktari has given you is a path to own an apartment or apartments without going to the hardware to buy sand, to buy metal, to risk hiyo nyumba ianguke. So today, using your phone, tuende kazi. *357#. Unabonyeza enter. *357#. Wale watu hutumia simu kudeal na Harambee. That is the path. That is the path. *357#. Then once you press, you enter your PIN number. Nime enter my PIN. Imekuja na drawdown inasema, welcome to Harambe Sacco M-Cash. Number 1, cash withdrawal. Number 2, my account. Number 3, loans. Tuendeni number 7. Share capital drive. So pick number 7. Number 7, ukisha pick inakuuliza share capital contribution option. Number 1, M-Pesa. Number 2, Fossa savings account. % is 15 bob. Your money will be earning for you without breaking a sweat. Daktari, allow me just to explain a little, because members ask, Squile natoka Sacco, what happens to my share capital? This, I asked this gentleman called Kipto, and he told me, nita retire jeshi at one point. doesn't mean the end of life. Now, every year, I'll be earning, for Kipto, he was saying, I'll be earning at least $1 million plus. Now it will be 1.5. So every month, I'll be earning a cool 100,000. Don't look at the bigger amount. Translate it to up to a day. But at a month, he'll be earning 120, 130,000 there every single month. Pensioners ambao mko hapa, does that mathematics make sense? That umeretire na every month bila kutoka jasho pension yako inakuja, but you are still earning 100,000 plus. You can go on holiday, you can reinvest. Actually, a clever person would still reinvest hizo zingine kwa short term fixed deposit zinaendelea kumuania. So ladies and gentlemen, once more I appeal. Use your phone. Money has a spirit. You keep it with you, it goes. You put it somewhere, it begins to earn for you. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you, Kaka Bukuru. In addition to that explanation on what you'll do with your share capital at the end of the day, there is a bill in the floor of Parliament to revise the Cooperatives Act. And in that bill, we presented a proposal that just like companies in Kenya, SACCOs be allowed to buy back share capital. So we are crossing our fingers. If that goes through, we will have a very clear avenue of exit. So your worry should not be, I've put a lot of money in Harambe share capital. What will happen to my money when I'm tired of being a member or I want to exit completely? Hopefully by that time, the bill will have gone through. Harambe should be able to buy it back. But what about before that? Before that, we'll go the Parliament way. There is a Sacco called Harambe Sacco. It has got the best way of managing those who are exiting. You know the MPs, I don't know whether there is any here. They do 5 years. After 5 years, they go back for re-election. 60%, unfortunately, are always voted out. So when they are voted out, they have used all the money, they go to the Sacco, they want their shares, they want their deposits. So what Parliament Sacco has done, it queues, it has a roll, a register of whoever wants to exit. So when the new parliamentarians or MPs join, they are not sold to new share capital. You start by buying from the exiting members. So we are also going to be doing the same so that no one is completely stuck if you choose to exit once you have invested in Harambe Sacco share capital. And then the other bit I wanted us to mention briefly, and I was asked in one of these fora, what is it that we are going to do? Maybe I comment on that slide. In that slide, which you are not able to see, we were just demonstrating that if you invest, for example, 50,000, then you are guaranteed an income of 7,500, and it goes down up to, if you do 1 million, you are guaranteed 150,000. The other question we were asked in another forum, what is it that we want to do this year, 2024, to guarantee members that we will be able to generate the income we are talking about? This year, our main focus first is this shares drive. We want to mobilize a 4 billion Kenya shillings this year and next year, and we do away with external borrowing. Then one of the most lucrative or sources of income at Harambe is FOSA. FOSA is the banking services that we offer. And as I mentioned to you, we have a number of branches across. And of course, your funds, all your funds mapped to your FOSA account, that is another FOSA branch. We make very easy money when we transact in FOSA. In fact, once you already have the system, you don't need to do so much. Just maintain it and you keep it up. So as people transact, even at night, we generate income. So our target this year is to increase salary accounts. Currently, we have got 16,000 salary accounts, and if you compare that with our total membership of 79,000, we have a potential, because we should be able to go up to 50,000. So our focus will be in a big way to increase the salary accounts. We increase transaction income, or income that is not derived from interest on the loans that we offer. In that way, we are assured we should be able to generate enough money and pay the investors at the end of the year, and for the 5 years that we are saying we give you guarantee return on your dividend. I think with that, I want to check if Mr. Chairman is around. We got you another program because we were to do breakfast. Breakfast can't go to dinner. But I think you need to clap for me. It's not a bad idea. Well, I don't ask for votes, but it's not a bad idea.
Okay, as we wait for the guest of honor, he has left the office now. See, I allow the Director of Cooperatives Nairobi County, awasalimie, aite Chief Officer in charge of Cooperatives Nairobi County, awasalimie. I'm sure in the next 5 or 10 minutes, the guest of honor will be here. Director.
Thank you very much. Investors, good morning. We are happy to be here with you today from the city of Nairobi County. As you're aware, cooperative is a devolved function. That is why we move and work with you from the city of Nairobi. Our role in the county is to register, promote, and grow cooperatives. In the county, we have about 5,000 cooperatives. Majority of them are savings and credit, and we have 75 billionaires. I'm also happy that the regulator is here today. This SACCO is regulated by SASRA. I know he'll be able to tell you what they do at SASRA, but basically they license, supervise, and regulate specific cooperatives that do deposit-taking business. I want to appreciate what you have invested here, but I just want to share with you what the highest investor in this county has, and by extension also the highest in Kenya. The highest investor has saved 120 million. So you can be comparing your figures with those figures. I have just summarized a very long story because I have very many members who have saved more than 10 million and above. This highest saver every year in that society, they get 10% return on investment. Every year he gets 12 million. Prorate it within the 12 months, comfortable, he can get 1 million per month. When he's seated under a tree, the tree you planted when you are young, don't wait to plant a tree when you are retired. It will not give you the shade. So we are very privileged and happy. In terms of performance of cooperatives, we are number 1 in Africa and number 7 throughout the world. You have been informed, thank you. You have been informed that Harambe Sacco is at position 4. It is important for you to know who is ahead of you. But from the look of things, I know you are going to overtake the others. Number 1 is Mwalimu National with a portfolio of 66 billion, also the strongest in Africa. Number 2 is Tima Sacco. Number 3 is Police Sacco. Number 4 is Harambe Sacco. Number 5 is Afya Sacco. Number 6 is Unitas. Number 7 is United Nations. Number 8 is Ukulima. They have now changed their name to Abster. And number 9 is Hazina. Number 10 is Safaricom Sacco, followed by Kimisitu and Kenya Bankers. Those are my top 10 cooperatives in Nairobi City County. Without much ado, allow me to invite the Chief Officer. As a city of Nairobi, we have a vision to have a city of order, dignity, hope, and opportunities for all. Through cooperatives, we can achieve the better agenda, bottom-up economic transformation agenda. And so, without much ado, allow me to invite the chief officer who will pass the greetings of the governor. I know he would have wished to come and interact with the millionaires in his county, but the chief officer is ably representing him. Thank you very much. My name is Dolphin Aremo from the city of Nairobi as the Director of Cooperatives. Karibu sana sana.
Thank you, Director. Chairman Harambe Sacco, honorable members who are also super savers. Hamjambo, good morning. I'm Godfrey Akumali, the Chief Officer in charge of markets, trade, and cooperatives in the Nairobi City County Government. And today I'm delighted to be amongst you. They say, if you want to fly high, fly with the eagles, because eagles have a unique way of flying. They fly as a flock, and they fly in a V style, meaning they're able to cut the major challenge when you're flying, which is the wind. As you move upper, the speed of wind is very high, but the eagle is able to sustain a very high speed because of moving together as a flock and in their V formation. The V formation is what brings us this morning here. That today, Chairman is rallying all of us to join him and support him in the vision of turning around Harambe Sacco fortunes. I believe all of us have been very supportive, and that's why we find ourselves in this room this morning. We are asking you this morning once again that we can push it a little further. That together we can bring down our external borrowing from 3 billion to 0, and instead borrow from amongst ourselves, and therefore retaining more money within the movement. If you look, like when we went to Woku last year in Vancouver, if you look at the cooperative unions in the US, in Canada, in the UK, they are bigger than the banking sector. I still strongly believe that indeed the cooperative movement is bigger than the banking sector in Kenya. The problem is our understanding of cooperatives is where we go for the money, but it's not where we invest the money. So we take the money from our SACCOs and go bank it in the bank because that is what we were taught for many years. However, this has changed a lot. We have now FOSA accounts where you can actually borrow within the SACCO and retain the money within the SACCO. You do not actually need to have another account anywhere else. And I keep on urging members that when we are in the movement, we are perceived to be members, meaning we are equal shareholders. Whether you are the chair, whether you are a member, whether you are a delegate, all of us call each other members of Harambe Sacco. But when we go to banks, where most of us hold our more money there most of the time, we are called customers. We are not involved in decision making. Here, we involve you because the decision of Harambe Sacco is a decision on you, is a decision on generations to come that are under your lineage. I therefore urge ourselves to rally ourselves behind the chair in this noble act. And I believe this will be a turnaround because Harambe Sacco for many years was a huge Sacco. Probably, I only knew when I grew up of 2 Saccos, 2 mega Saccos. I knew Harambe and I knew Mwalimu. Those were the 2 mega Saccos I knew in the village because I'm a village boy. Slowly, you see others have come and have overtaken you. You have an opportunity to also reclaim your Sacco's glory. And that is this drive we are starting today. I urge all of you to rally behind the chair and be with the chair in this journey. Let us flock together. Let us fly higher where it is cooler and we reap the benefits by investing in what we believe you in. I wish you well today. I wish Harambe long life. And I wish that the members of Harambe will always reap the best returns on the investments they make. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
Thank you, Chief Officer. We had also invited guests here, and I think this is the right time I introduce them. Our guest is just around here. We have Richard Nyakinango, who is representing the CEO from CIC Insurance Company. Richard, unataka kusema jambo? Kuja useme jambo.
Good morning, Chairman, and the Super Savers, invited guests. I think it is a great privilege that we are joining you this morning for this great celebration. You are the great pillars of this organization. I think it was an idea that is right, that you are called here and you are given a brief on how your organization is performing and how best can we steer it going forward in the next couple of days. And even envisioning the vision that they want to have for this organization so that you can have more trust in this organization, so that you can put more money and grow it to the next level. From where we sit as CIC, this is one of our most valued customers, one of the most regarded and respected customer, because they have stood with this organization and we have seen it sustain the leadership in the cooperative space. We know that you are the most senior civil servants who have steered this organization for very many years. I know Bwana Irungu was working with one of my cousins in our office, and we have very due respect for this organization. So for us as CIC family, we want to give you very special tribute and wish you well as you nurture and grow this organization. And as it has been said, let's bring our young ones, let's bring the children and grandchildren to join this organization, because then together we can build a very big organization. When one of our guests came from England last year, one of the Saccos, the conversation that we are getting from them here in Kenya was that for them, Saccos are grown in the family channels. Your children will join, your grandchildren join Harambe. So you keep on flocking all of you in this journey of growing this organization. And that way, we'll have a very super cooperative. So we want to wish you well, and I'm giving you my warm greetings from my group CEO, Patrick Inyaga. He knows you are here, and in a very special way, he told me to greet you all. Mepokea salamu zake. Thank you very much, and we know in a special way you also are customers at individual level, and we wish you well as you grow this. Thank you, Chairman.
Next is a gentleman, a CEO of Cooperative Alliance of Kenya, Mr. Daniel Marube. Daniel Marube is the chief advocacy of the cooperatives movement. Nataka aongee kidogo. And then after that, we have Vincent Marangu representing Cooperative Bank. And then we have Arnold Munene from Cusco, wawasalimie as I drop down to pick the guest of honor. And then Osoro from Sasra. Hata kama hata ongea mambo ya regulation, awasalimie tu mumuone, mjue Sasra iko. Karibu Daniel.
Thank you, Chairman and board members, investors, ladies and gentlemen. As my chairman has introduced me, my name is Daniel Marube. I'm an associate millionaire today. I've just filling my form to be part of this team because the figures are looking right. The thinking and the strategy is in the right trajectory. The people who are moving this strategy are sober people. We trust them. And I have no reason why I cannot be associated and be part of this team. In a little while, I will be hitting also 1 million so that I can walk with others. But for now, I'm an associate member, an associate millionaire. Ladies and gentlemen, CIK will hold the board members and the management accountable for the promises they have given us. They have told us we are leaping forward and we will be earning 15% and much more We will hold them accountable on your behalf. As the CS may be mentioning, our legal framework and the regulations are in place to protect the savers, to protect the investors in the financial cooperative subsector, to ensure that our money is safe today and tomorrow. So for that reason, because we are your advocates, to ensure that the national government and the county government, they do not interfere with our thinking, with the manner in which we are implementing our strategies, we will be there as your representative to hold them accountable, to make sure that we have good laws and the regulations that are not only progressive to allow us to do our cooperative business, but also that they do their part as a government. So I want to assure you that CAK will be there for you, and we will continue to do the right thing. Thank you very much, and I know the CS is coming, so that we can clear most of the time those of us who have been given that small responsibility and opportunity to greet you. Vincent seems not to be ready.
A round of applause for the CEO of CAA. Okay, Vincent, come on the floor.
Thank you very much, Vice Chairman. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning. Yeah, my name is Vincent Marango, Director in charge of Cooperative Banking Division at Cooperative Bank. I bring you greetings from Dr. Gideon Morioki, the CEO of the bank. As you well know, Harambe Sacco is the single largest shareholder of Cooperative Bank. And last year alone, the bank was able to give Harambe Sacco a dividend of 223 million. The bank has reported 32 billion in profit before tax for 2023, and the board of directors have decided to pay another dividend in May. So even before Harambe Sacco makes any other money from anywhere, in May, you receive another 223 million from Cooperative Bank. What does that say? It says that this is the right place to be. This is the right place to put money. Because even before the year starts, Harambe Sacco will be assured of some money, at least from Cooperative Bank. We are very proud to be associated with the bank, with the Sacco. I can tell you that this Sacco is very diligent in the way they do their business. We run their accounts, we manage their relationship, and I can tell you, we are very proud of the governance structure that are there. The chairman of the Sacco is the vice chairman of the bank, so the same standards that they are applying to lead Cooperative Bank is the same standard that is being applied in this Sacco. I've also gotten tempted. I was telling Mr. Marube, because his age is a bit advanced than mine, and he has a lot of assets. Even the other day he was telling me we built a house and something in Malindi. And I told him, Marube, you have a lot of property. Narok, Kisi, Where, all these things, if you leave them like that, zitaleta vita nyumbani. So I've advised him, because I've done some economics. I've told him this year, he sells all those things. Then if he gets 100 million and put it in Harambe Sacco, for example, in this initiative, I've told him it will be very easy to divide that wealth to the children. And he will tell the children, every year, when you get, if it's 15 million, each one of you will be getting 2.5, 3 million, and it will be easy to share wealth. Watapigana kila mwaka watakuwa nakula kitu yao, but ukiacha hivi vitu iko Narok, iko Malindi, watapigana, ingine itaibiwa, ingine itafanywa nini, na itakuwa shida. Tuko pamoja? But if you leave it in this kind of structure, I think this is the best inheritance you can give to your children. Thank you very much. God bless you. I'll also be signing to be a millionaire.
Thank you very much. That is where we draw most of our funds. I call upon the CEO of Cusco to come and talk. And as you hear, our chairman is the vice chair of cooperative and is the chair in CAK. And we are going to soon be the president somewhere.
Thank you very much.
To the board, invited guests, fellow millionaires. Unajua sasa ile meza imekuwa ni ya millionaires. Habari zenyu. My name is Arnold Monene. I'm the acting MD Cusco. First is to say that I'm very excited to be amongst the millionaires. I mean, it gives me a lot of pride as a Sacco sector when we'll talk of us trusting our Saccos. You see, this is a safe place for all of us. Today, I've gone through the records and the books, information that you have, and the reasons why we are coming in here to build our share capital are so direct and visionary. How we want to increase our membership, how we want to look at our products, offerings, how we want to improve our ICT infrastructure gives me a lot of joy. We pride ourselves as a Sacco sector controlling 30% of the national savings. Today, you millionaires who are seated here, if I go down to the Saccos and to your members, let me just talk about your members. I believe we are going to get testimonies that we can all get proud of. That once I was an employee, now I am an employer. That once I was a tenant, now I'm a landlord. That is the testimony that we want to hear from our Saccos. So this initiative, as Cusco, as the union of all Saccos, we are very proud and we support that all members of Saccos in this country should trust the process of Saccos, because we are the trusted vehicles that are there to economically and socially build us. So today, I am grateful for the board and management. Thank you for this initiative. And I ask you, fellow investors, continue holding on to Harambee. Let us bring the glory of Harambee to where it was. And yes, this is the turning point. And Cusco, we commit to support you in technical and in financial aspects. As even Cusco, we are trying to transform ourselves to make sure that the sector, the Sacco sector, the cooperative movement in Kenya is not only #1 in Africa, but we also look at the global position of #7. I believe we can also lift it up to #2 and even #1. So kwetu kama Cusco, and I'm happy you have delegates here from Cusco, from Harambe Sacco. Harambe Sacco is one of the greatest, highest shareholders of Cusco. So you're also very proud because you're also holding your union. Kwa hayo machache na mengi, as a millionaire, let me now go down there nianze kupanga maneno so that we can hold on each other and make this turning point a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You can see we are investing all over. Let me call upon the Sasra guy. Karibu.
Good morning, millionaires. Good morning once again. Regulators don't talk much. They act. I'm Mr. Joseph Osoro from Sasra, Head of Compliance. And I bring you greetings also to my CEO, Mr. Peter Njuguna. Let me say that at Sasra, we are very happy about this initiative. And if you are not happy with it, it would not have taken place. So we gave it a nod. And I want to take the opportunity to explain to you why we gave it an okay, an approval to go ahead and put your money there. Harambe is a Sacco, and a Sacco is a cooperative. And if we trace back the history of cooperatives, back in the UK around 1776, there was one gentleman called Robert Owen. I don't know how many of you have heard about him. He's the father of cooperatives. And this guy was an industrialist in the textile industry. So his employees were really suffering. Okay, so I can see the chief guest has arrived. So receive greetings from Sasra. From Sasra, we assure you that every shilling that you will be putting in the Sacco we will ensure that it is safe and you will get appropriate returns. Thank you.
We are delighted to welcome our chief guest, when a CS, and it is protocol that when a CS comes, we rise up and we sing the national anthem. Yes, please. Remain standing for the East African anthem. Thank you very much. We can sit down. Mr. Chair, I would like you to take this opportunity to welcome the CS and also share with us what you wanted to tell us. Oh, we have another guest, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Before I go to George, okay, before I go to my speech, I want to just do a small introduction, just in terms of those who have joined us. Our chief guest, of course, CS Simon Chelugui, the Commissioner for Cooperative Development, David Obonyo, and also the Technical Advisor, Martha, thank you. When I see us today, we have our eye savers, the millionaires, we call them millionaires. And today is a club that we created 3 years ago, and the number has continued to grow. But interestingly, the majority of the members of this club They retired. I think they are almost 75% of this club, which is now almost over 3,000. 3,000 of them, amongst the 76 active members that we have in our Sacco. In the house, we are very senior. We call them senior citizen. We have Mr. Madenge, a very renowned administrator. And then we have Mr. Joseph Irungu, immediate PS. I know when I was introducing you, you told me that he was your PS. These are one of the senior people who have continued to trust in us and continue to invest in Harambee. They are very proud to continue trusting us with their investment. So I know our guest of honor has told me that he has another engagement, so I don't want to take a lot of time. Let me go to my speech. Our guest of honor, CS Minister of Cooperatives, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development, Commissioner for Cooperative Development, David Obonyo, our County Director, Dolphin Aremo, Chief Officer, Nairobi County, Sub-County Cooperative Officer, Rosaline, all the other officials from the Ministry of Cooperatives. We have Vincent Marangu representing the MD Cooperative Bank. We have the CEO, Cusco, Arnold Munene, and we have David Marube, the CEO, CAK. CAK is Cooperative Alliance of Kenya, and I also happen to be the chair of that umbrella body. And then we have Richard Nakanyango representing the CEO, CIC Group. And we have my brother from Sasra, who has just talked with you. Those are the people who are trying to regulate us and ensure that your money is safe. Even the accounts we read in the AGM, if our brother here does not put his signature, we cannot have an AGM. If he tells us you are not able to pay dividend, we cannot be able to pay dividend. That is how strict the government is. He's a quiet man, he doesn't talk much, but very thorough in terms of looking at those financials. And karibu sana. Then we have my colleague director led by the vice chair, Millicent Simiu, the members of the supervisory committee, our CEO, Dr. Jojo Chiri, staff of Harambe Sacco, and staff of Harambe Sacco who are millionaire today. But CS, we pride that we have staff here who believe in this institution, and they have continued to invest with us. So they are here as millionaires, but not as staff. They are here to enjoy their investment. Okay, all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, Bwana CS, it is my honor and privilege to welcome you to our first ever Sacco Share Capital Drive campaign, and it gives me great pleasure and pride on behalf of the board of directors, management staff, our investors, our millionaires who have come to witness the official unveiling of the grand milestone in the history of Harambe Sacco, dubbed the turning point. Our guest of honor today marks a very important point in our history and the future of our society. Our guest, business locally and globally, has been functioning under tough conditions. But despite operating in an increasingly tough macroeconomic environment, coupled with global geopolitical disruptions, which raise the cost of doing business, your Sacco, Harambe Sacco, has remained resilient, and indeed the society delivered a respectable performance in its 2023 financial year. We are convinced that we can and shall do better than 2023. Our 2023 financial performance showcased our exceptional, innovative spirit and our agility in taking this institution to greatest heights possible. Ladies and gentlemen, today our net surplus grew by 73% from a low of 532 million in 2022 to a high of 919 in 2023. Indeed, with regards to meeting our ratios as underpinned by the regulator, our performance was sterling. We nevertheless have only one area of concern, and this was captured by our performance in areas of institutional capital, stock total assets, where the statutory requirement stands at 8%, yet we are at 6.2%, up from 5.3% the previous year. Our guest of honor, something drastic needed to be done to address the gap, and the board of directors, the delegates, working closely with the management, have therefore come up with a very comprehensive and integrated strategy that will address this concern going forward. Today, our CS is set to officially launch a comprehensive share capital drive campaign that seeks to mop up a whopping Kenya shillings 4 billion shillings in a span of 2 years. It is our expectation that all the 40 million shares being put on offer during this campaign period will be oversubscribed, and that the society will be set on a new financial performance trajectory in line with our 2024 annual theme dubbed the turning point. In essence, the success of this share drive will help the society reduce its reliance of external borrowings, which last year stood at 3.05 billion. It will also buoy up the society's liquidity position, thus making a great saving, especially when it comes on loan interest payments. Our guest, in order to sustain our growth trajectory going forward, the board of directors is today making a deliberate commitment towards pushing this campaign to its logical conclusion. As board of directors, our commitment is anchored on the fact that each director has dedicated themselves to buy over 6,000 new Harambe Sacco shares worthy of 1 million in 2 years between 2024 and 2025. That target, CS, also goes to the board of management, and that each staff member, the senior management, their target is pegged at 300,000 a year. And that also will go to the leadership, including the delegates. We are going to be carrying out delegate educations immediately after this, and we are also going to agree on their target within the 2 years. As we present ourselves to our millionaires, please take this opportunity to ensure that you also partake part of 40 million shares so that you can also improve your returns. During the coming years of June 2024, we'll also be conducting an annual delegates education and sensitization program, during which the board will encourage that each delegate is to acquire 4,000 new shares worth 400,000 over a period of 2 years. With over 70,000 members across the country, the society will be offering each member the opportunity to acquire a minimum of 500 additional new shares worth 50,000. The success of this unique drive will ensure the society's growth curve is not only sustained, but improved through the deployment of an agile, dynamic, and resilient strategy buoyed up by the internal funding and not the expensive external funding. Our guests, in this regard, while the society paid an all-time high dividend of 12% in 2023, which literally translates to Kenya shillings 12 shillings per share, the board is now proposing and committing to our members that this campaign success, the society will pay a dividend of 15%, which translates to 15 shillings per share for the next 5 years. Our guests, our way forward is number one, we are looking at building our working and institutional capital. And this regard, the society will be launching a campaign dubbed Ongeza Shares, Utajirike, and our target being the mopping up of the funds to the tune of over 4 billion at 15%. If the society achieves this move, we will have it as a jackpot. Number two is growing membership. In tandem with our salary processing accounts, as captured in our books over the years, our members have stagnated at 79,000 members. It is the high time the society hits the 89 to 100,000 members. This can and must be achieved. We must put our heads together, both the investors, the board of directors, the management, and the members. We put our heads together collectively and energize ourselves to push the growth of our society so that we can reclaim our position in the Sacco subsector. Number two, we'll be improving on our digitalization process, and this is now and the future. Every effort will be made towards the accomplishment of the objective. The local and international financial market is now digital driven. Every transaction must be channeled through the system. This will not only ease service delivery to our members, but it will also increase access and operationalize, increase the speed of our services and products to our members. Ladies and gentlemen, as I come to the conclusion, allow me to say that I would like to sincerely appreciate my colleagues in the board, the management and the staff of Harambe Sacco for the commitment, diligent in undertaking their roles and obligations. I cannot forget to thank the millionaires here. When we started, we could not have a meeting of more than 50 people sitting together. When we started, at least we could only have 4 to 5 meetings. But this time, our guest of honor, we have gone to all regions. We went to Meru, we went to Embu, we went to Mombasa, we went to Kisumu, Nakuru, Eldoret. And we are here today with this team in Nairobi from Monday. And it will be heading tomorrow with the same size of number of 100. So the number has grown. And I was just going around, and when we discussed at the board level, the number is growing. There are some even who are calling, what can I do for me to join the Millionaires Club? So from next year, we have agreed that we are going to, it's not going to be a Millionaires Club. It's going to be multimillionaire club, possibly look at 1.5 or 2 million going above, so that we also encourage them to save. Number two, when we went around, we got members requested us, next, how can we have dinner instead of breakfast? And they also requested we allow them to come with their spouses. And in our last meeting yesterday, the board agreed because we want to make Harambee a family affair. If you are a member, you come with your spouse, watoto, hata wajukuu, kila mtu akue pale, so that we look at the future of Harambee. Our guest of honor, it is now my privilege to welcome you, to give you a speech and officially unveil the most precious occasion for the year 2024. But before that, I will ask the commissioner, akuja tusalimie, na alafu aku-invite to give you address. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Chairman Macdot Maronza, and your board, our chief guest today, Honorable Simon Cherui, the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Cooperatives and MSME, the county government, represented by the Chief Officer, Godfrey, and the Director, Madam Aremo, the millionaires of Harambe Sacco, the invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm happy to join you here today to celebrate and launch the share drive for Harambe Sacco. One thing I want to mention is that these are very innovative, creative activity that Harambe Sacco has come up with, because I know a number of SACCOs, we have been struggling trying to increase our capital quietly, but Harambe has decided to make it open. And I want to assure you that this is the place where you need to be, and this is the place where you need to invest your money. Because Harambe Sacco right now is very stable, very secure, and we as a government, through the leadership of our Cabinet Secretary, we have put in place all the mechanism, especially in policy and the legal framework, to ensure that your money is safe and secure. So I encourage you, those ones maybe who are in 1 million, to enhance it to 2 million, the one in 2 million, the same thing, to add some more, so that we create a strong and a sound Harambe Sacco that can be able to offer you all your financial needs at any time, and be able to overcome any financial shocks that may come as we move forward. So mine at this time is I want to take this opportunity to invite our Cabinet Secretary, our chief guest, to come and address us. And I request you, please use lace up as we invite our Cabinet Secretary to talk to us. Thank you, and welcome, Bwana CS. Tupige makofi.
Please, let's take our seats. Wow. Thank you so much, Commissioner of Cooperatives, Mr. David Obonyo. I first and foremost recognize the PS cooperative was just left for another activity or another event. The chairman, Mr. McLeod Malonza, and the CEO, and your board of directors, the CEO, and the management supervisory committee, Mr. Joseph Irungu, my former PS or my PS in water, and we worked very closely. I really reminisce the old days that we worked in the Ministry of Water, and we shared a lot, learned a lot, and is the reason and is what I used to even carry on the leadership of this very important ministry. Thank you so much for the 2 years we worked together. Mr. Madenge also in the room, and all the millionaires. When I grow up, I want to be a millionaire. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Jambo. I think I've addressed so many meetings in my role as a CS, but none of them has been to address millionaires. So I'm a bit anxious how millionaires are how to speak to millionaires, how to engage millionaires. But I also dream to be a millionaire. So I am more of learning and listening to you. But more importantly, this shared drive is a timely activity, because Harambe Sacco, when I came to Nairobi in the 90s, the Sacco that I came across was Harambe House, Harambe Sacco, and I used to think Harambe Sacco was actually office of the president. And Afia House, because that is around the place I used to pick my matatu to Lower Kabete. So we had the greenhouse and that had just been built by Afia Sacco. So those were the two landmarks. I really didn't know Harambe is a financial service provider. So going back, along the way, there were plots and properties that were being sold in Donholm or Komarok by Harambe Sacco. And I think it looked good, although we did not have capacity then. But a few of my friends bought a few of those properties, developed, they have since settled there, and they are happy. So if there was one Sacco that I came across for the first time, was Harambe Sacco. When you look at the history, Harambe Sacco is a pioneer investor in some of our apex institutions, cooperative institutions, whether it's cooperative bank, whether it is CIC, whether it's Cusco, and all these apex cooperatives, Harambe Sacco is right there. And in most of them is a top investor in those institutions. So you cannot talk about the cooperative movement in Kenya without talking about Harambe Sacco. So it is time to go back. It is time to retrace our steps and regain our market leadership as Harambe Sacco. It is time to review our business model by refinancing and capitalizing Harambe so that we can position it well to be the market leader as we all knew. So that journey cannot succeed without capitalization of the organization. And therefore, my reason of being here today is among the SACCOs that we regulate and oversee, among the 2,000 SACCOs, Harambe Sacco stands out. It has undergone its own storms and downside and upside and again downside. And now it's time to reform, organize, and move forward. We have the past, the challenges are behind us. And the growth and the future is ahead of us. There is interesting, there is exciting opportunity ahead. And that can be only addressed if you, the shareholders, can rise up and can rise up, take up your space and position Harambe Sacco in the right place. So I want to start by thanking the leadership under Mr. Malonza, the chair, and your board of directors. The management team by the CEO, Mr. Onchiri, and all the shareholders in the room, that this is the right thing. You know, financial inclusion and financial literacy is a critical pillar in bottom-up economic transformation, in empowering Kenyans. The 16 million Kenyans who are hustlers, the 16 million Kenyans who have no access to affordable credit. Majority of our members who are working in civil service and even those in the informal sector are looking up to us to provide access to financial resources. And so it's a challenge. There is huge opportunity for Harambe Sacco. And I'm sure when all this is done in 2 years, I believe, I have no doubt in my mind, that Harambe Sacco will be once more a market leader. So it is with great pleasure that I join you today to inaugurate the much anticipated share drive for Harambe Sacco. As we gather here, I'm reminded of the immense potential that lies within our cooperative and MSME sector. First and foremost, allow me to extend my heartfelt appreciation to every one of you for gracing this occasion with your presence. Your commitment to the growth and prosperity of our cooperative movement is truly commendable. I also want to acknowledge the leadership and members of Harambe Sacco for their dedication and unwavering commitment to cooperative spirits and principles. Harambe Sacco was registered 50 years ago to mobilize savings from employees in the office of the president. So after all, I was not wrong. It later expanded membership to the provincial administration and security agencies. Harambe Sacco has not had a smooth sailing in its checkered history. At one time, Harambe Sacco was the biggest Sacco in Africa in terms of shareholding and membership. With the implementation of structural adjustment program, the government froze employment of new staff, and this Sacco membership reduced as well as financial muscle. I'm happy to note that despite all this, Harambe Sacco leadership came up with strategies to overcome these bottlenecks and bounce back with a focus to become one of the formidable Sacco in the continent. Congratulations, management. One of these strategies was to open a common bond to allow members from other ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as private organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, I note with appreciation remarkable performance by Harambe Sacco with financial indicators, actually all indicators, showing an increase of your share capital to over 2.3 billion and an asset base of 38.3 billion, a loan book of 29.1 billion, a total income of 5.69 billion, and a net surplus of over 919 million, and a declaration of interest on deposits of over 1.9 billion. To give you a national perspective, the cooperative movement is the largest in Africa and the 7th largest in the world. From our numbers, International Cooperative Alliance, we have savings, we have assets of over 1.5 trillion, including Harambe Sacco. We have loan books of now about 1.2 trillion. And we have deposits of 1 trillion. We have a membership of 14 million Kenyans. That is over 25% of the Kenya's population. We hold 30% of the national savings in the cooperative movement. So if there is any future for this country, if there is any sector that requires attention, is the cooperative movement, because 30% is material enough to become a serious focus of the government. And therefore, I want to congratulate all those who have played a role, the apex bodies, the banks, unions, ICA, and everybody else who has played a role in mobilizing the country to cooperative movement. Truly, Kenya is now a cooperative republic. So with the great, and is the reason why we have so many people in the movement actually looking forward, planning to visit, to attend, to join us in the movement in Kenya. With this great performance, Harambe Sacco is on the verge of another great milestone as epitomized by its 2024 theme. This is a turning point. This time, it is focused on a shared drive to take a Sacco to the next phase. Turning point. Chairman, there was a piece, Mr. Joseph Irungu was involved in South Sudan. And I attended one of the peace meetings in one of the forums. And in one of those meetings, every speaker, including the former president, said, peace is at the corner. We are turning the corner. We are the turning point. But one speaker came and said, I've listened to the speakers, and everybody's talking of a turning point, a turning the corner. But we have been told this over and over again in South Sudan, as far as South Sudan peace is concerned. Because every time we turn the corner, another corner emerges from somewhere. So they keep on turning the corner, another corner comes. They turn the next corner, another corner comes. That is life. You have now at the turning point to lift Harambe Sacco to another level. Once you stabilize at that level, you begin another corner of growth. So life does not stop in a corner. You just turn. You just turn. It's not the end. The corner is just the beginning of another corner ahead. So you should never settle down and take it and assume that you have reached. It is a journey. So I like the word turning point. As we embark on this shared drive, it is essential to recognize the pivotal role that cooperatives play in fostering economic empowerment, social cohesion, and sustainable development. Cooperatives have long been driving force behind our nation's progress, empowering individuals and communities to pool their resources, harness their collective strength, and create opportunities for prosperity. Today, as we launch the shared drive for Harambe Sacco, we are presented with a unique opportunity to further strengthen and expand our cooperative movement. By investing in shares, each one of us has the chance not only to secure a financial future, but also to contribute to the growth and stability of Harambe Sacco. I've read the slogan or the earnings per share if you invested in this Harambe Sacco, 15% return. Hata ukinunua nyumba, hata ile pesa ya kukopesha haiwezi panda namna hiyo. We talk of 2%, 3%, 5% maximum. Hata ukiweka pesa kwa benki, bado pia tuko na shida. So I believe we are with the fundamentals and the financials and the accounts that have been provided and the projections. This is a good investment for those of us who will take up this opportunity. Every share purchased is a vote of confidence in the vision and mission of the Sacco, and a tangible demonstration of our collective commitment to the success. Furthermore, I overemphasize the importance of savings, particularly in the current economic climates. A savings culture among its members promotes their social security. As we navigate through these challenging times, prudential financial management and savings disciplines are more critical. Harambe Sacco provides a safe and reliable platform for individuals to save and invest in the future. Therefore, I urge each and every one of you to seize this opportunity and participate wholeheartedly in the shares drive for Harambe Sacco. Whether you are a seasoned investor or a first-time saver, your contribution will make a difference. Let us come together as a community united in purpose and drive by the desire to build a brighter and more prosperous future for ourselves and generations to come. Shared drives ensures that organizations' control remain in the hands of the owners, besides being a cheap source of funds for expansion. Harambe Sacco Shared Drive will ensure that both new members are brought on board while existing members increase their shareholding. This will not only enhance and strengthen financial foundation of the Sacco, but also increase its institutional capacity. With a solid financial foundation, the Sacco will be able to withstand any shocks of its operations. In addition, a solid share base will enable your Sacco to stop relying on external borrowing, which are a drain on your revenues due to their high-cost nature, which reduces returns on your deposits and dividends on your shareholding. It is worthwhile to note that the Sacco should aim to attract quality members, since its traditional source of membership no longer exists due to government freeze on new employment. Exiting members are also encouraged to increase their shareholding. This will ensure the Sacco meets its regulatory and prudential requirements. For the Sacco to remain strong and ensure sustainable growth, the Sacco leadership is encouraged to focus on service delivery, innovation, and automation to enable members to access service on the virtual superhighway. This progress and resilience demonstrated by Harambe Sacco are commendable, and I'm confident that with prudent management and collective effort, its rightful place in Kenya financial sector will be reclaimed. Cooperative leaders are encouraged to embrace cutting-edge emerging technologies, innovation, and adopt appropriate strategies that will provide solutions to meet members' needs and offer competitively driven services. Dear cooperators, the cooperative model remains the best vehicle for fighting poverty and inequality in the society as they traverse all sectors of the economy, cutting across all classes of professionals in our midst. This is why Kenya Kwanza administration identified cooperatives as enabled to implement bottom-up economic transformation agenda. My ministry is focused on supporting financial cooperatives to play a key role in financing MSMEs and productive value chains to stimulate economy and bring down the cost of living, eradicate poverty, create jobs, and expand the tax base with inclusive growth. In addition, my ministry is implementing priority value chains through cooperatives due to their inclusivity as envisaged in BETA. As a country, we are a world leader in a number of select value chains. For example, avocado, a crop that is common among our farmers. We are the fifth largest exporter of avocado in the world. Muranga contributes 21% of that. We produce over 130,000 metric tons, and we export 100,000 metric tons of avocado. This has earned Kenya, total horticultural crops have earned Kenya over 160 billion shillings, overtaking our traditional exports of tourism, coffee, and tea. And it's for that reason that we are now picking on those emerging value chains like avocado, so that we can profile, we can support, we can increase our stake at the in the national market. The other value chains like dairy sector, our government is focusing on increasing production from an annual production of 4.2 billion liters per year to 10.2 billion liters per year. On Friday, we will be commissioning, or rather we will be witnessing the handing over of Murang'a Cooperative Union Dairy Plant, the Murang'a County Cooperative Creamery, to a farmers union, a cooperative union. We are also modernizing new KCC, and we will support farmers to improve their breeds so that we can enhance our daily production as we focus on the export market. We are also looking at coffee. We have been carrying out reforms under the office of the Deputy President. We are turning the corner on these reforms. We have opened up Nairobi Coffee Exchange to include farmers in the coffee exchange, so that as your coffee is being sold, you are in the room to accept or refuse prices. We have witnessed improved payment. We have improved transparency in the conduct of this value chain. Again, this is a priority. We will be looking at also the macadamia, the beef, and also the leather. All these are value chains that will enhance the cooperative movement and also the financial services. You are now expected as SACCOs to come in and finance these value chains. I call upon SACCOs to come up with innovative products that will support the development and implementation of these value chains all over the country. This cannot be achieved without the adoption and use of appropriate technological innovations to bring down the cost of doing business and enable members to transact anywhere in the globe. Finally, we are carrying out reforms, regulatory and also legal and legislative. The cooperative bill has now passed through cabinet, is now before the House, and has addressed a number of emerging issues between the county government and the national government. It talks about inspection, audit, election, terms of officers, the fit and proper governance and fraud and management of finance and assets of cooperative. It has addressed all the issues that we've been dealing with, so that going forward, the cooperative sector will be a reliable, trustworthy, trusted movement with proper governance structures in place. We have also coming up with the shared services. And I'm happy, I've seen Harambe Sacco expressing their interest, and many SACCOs. We will promote shared services and central liquidity facility, so that SACCOs who may need more money overnight, short term, they can approach their core member in a shared service for a platform on agreed terms, on predictable interest rates, and therefore you will not, the bank will not at any one moment, the SACCO will not turn you away because of liquidity or short-term cash needs. The other issue is bring down the cost of service. One of the costs is when everyone is running their own operation, ICT, ATMs, cyber security, all these services carry cost. So it is possible to bring together these SACCOs, 40 of them, into one platform, so that they focus on their core business of savings and credit, and leave this support service to a common service provider. This way, we will be able to bring efficiency, We will be able to mentor each other, bring transparency, enable members to access information, and also address, and we prepare the movement for the third payment, national payment platform. It will be possible to process EFTs, RTGS, transfer money within a shared platform. I have already launched a COPTEC shared services platform, Sacco Central shared services platform, and we are open to any other arrangement that gives us a shared platform. We are open, and they will also be regulated. So all these are reforms in the cooperative movement to ensure we protect and preserve the members' funds. Finally, we will have also the deposit guarantee fund. This is a fund that is contributory, and it will be used to cushion members in case, unfortunate, in case the Sacco collapse. At least the members do not go home dry. So it is meant to assure cooperators, depositors, that a shilling in the bank is as safe as a shilling in the Sacco. That is our mantra, and that is our drive. In conclusion, I'm confident that with your support and dedication, Harambe Sacco will continue to drive and serve as a beacon of hope and opportunity for all. Let us harness the power of cooperation, innovation, and shared prosperity to realize our collective aspirations. With these remarks, I now officially launch the Harambe Deposit Taking Sacco Share Drive, officially launched. Tuvuke pamoja. Thank you, and God bless you. So we'll
Right, so the moment we were waiting for is finally here. Bwana CS, Chairman, CEO, all protocols observed. Asanteni sana for the speech. So now we want to get to that level of Waswahili usema mbwembwe na vigelegele as we launch this through. All right, so if media can tell us where they want us to stand. Just give a moment for the media to be set, because this is a moment to behold. Today we are launching a share drive of inviting everyone in this building to become a millionaire. Just like CS said, speaking in front of millionaires is a bit hard, but perhaps in the very near future, we all can speak same language because we all will be millionaires. Bwana CS.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
And there we are, unveiling the share drive of 4 billion Kenya shillings that will create millionaires in Kenya in terms of savings. You put your money in savings and you're guaranteed 15% return on investment for the lifetime of your investment. This is very competitive return on investment, and we thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to showcase this for you and introduce it to you. Our one drive, our one request is that you all become members of Harambe Sacco, and you all invest a minimum of 1 million shillings with a return on investment of 15%. Like I said, that is extremely competitive. Bwana CS, thank you very much for honoring this invitation. And I would like to invite you, Bwana CS, together with the chairman. We Sisi wa Kenya tunapenda kakitu ka sweet namna hii. So naomba tukuje hapa tukate ka keki to commemorate this beautiful day that we will all keep memory of. So the chairman, the CEO, plus the CS, and then of course we will have one of the beautiful ladies to help us with the cutting of the cake. So we are cutting the cake in commemoration of this beautiful day that we've launched the share drive of 4 billion Kenya shillings. And in the process, the making of more millionaires through Harambe Deposit-Taking Sacco. You can imagine if you raise that to 2 million, how much you'll be getting. Probably every month. If you can do your calculations, then you know what we are talking about. Bigger than having a matatu on the roads. Bwana CS, if you don't mind, we will give you a bite of our cake now. Asante sana. Makofi, Bwana CS. Makofi kwa Bwana CS. And the CEO. And the chairman. And all our chief guests. Asanteni sana for partaking the cake and wishing us well as we launch the 4 billion Kenya shillings drive for Harambe Deposit-Taking Sacco. Thank you very much, Bwana CS, as you take your seats.
As we serve the cake, I want to call Alex Chege to move a vote of thanks. And in a special way, I want to also recognize Mr. Madenge. Hii jina tunaitanga wafanisi, yeye ndiye alipropose. And I'm very proud to be associated with him. He proposed, akasema sisi tu wazee tutaangaliwa nani mambo yetu. Madenge, your proposal has come to be a reality. So ngojea barua, you are going to be the first wafanisi to be a delegate. God bless you. Alex.
Millionaires, Bwana CS, PS, Commissioner of Cooperatives, all protocols observed. My name is Alex Chege Willem Meskia, and I'm standing before you. I'm standing before you as a proud member of Harambe Sacco. Apart from being a millionaire, I've served this Sacco for 44 years. I've been a member of the board of Harambe Sacco. And during my time when we were a member, we were not talking about the biggest. We were talking about Harambe being a giant in Africa. We had 136,000 members. And that is what now we are claiming for. We want to surpass that number which we were at 136, so that we can be again the giant. I've been given a task just to pass a vote of thanks. And I also want to tell you that the house I'm staying in Nairobi, in a high-end area, also is at a courtesy of Harambe Sacco. So we have a lot to talk about the good things of Harambe Sacco.
And I've told you my investment is at Sagana, Havila Resort, through empowerment again by Harambe Sacco. And I welcome you all when I finish my passing vote of thanks. I would start by thanking the CS for the encouraging words that he has given us. And he has even told us, even a secret, that as we go and jump, even become the giant, we shall get another corner. And he has told us what we need to do is only to navigate on those corners. He has given us an assurance that as we take this drive, our funds are safe. Thanks a lot, Bwana CS, because I know the millionaires will create a lot of money because of your word of encouragement and even advising us. I would also like to thank the Commissioner, even for his kind words and for assuring us that they have already tested the model and they've confirmed. The regulator has as well confirmed that before it was even proposed, they had also checked and gone through it and found that it is also safe. The office of the county government of Nairobi, I wish also to thank you very much, and the director of cooperatives, because of all the assurances that you have given to us. Members, you can rest assured that we are doing well. The cooperative bank, we thank you very much for assuring us you are even giving us more money in the month of May. Members, you can see Harambe Sacco is rising higher. I would also like to take this opportunity even to thank the board led by the CEO of Harambe Sacco for ensuring this occasion is a success. I also wish to thank the service provider, which is Safari Park Hotel, for making this place available and making all the arrangements. We thank you for that. And the team behind this, I know there's a team of Harambe Sacco who are working, also checking on to see how we are. Above all, I want to say this. Harambe Sacco leads and others follow. In both growth and the future, may God bless all the members of Harambe Sacco, and God bless Harambe Sacco and the board members. Karibuni sana na asanteni sana kwa kuja. Mungu awabariki. Asante.
Thank you, Alex Chege. Now I will be upstanding for the national anthem, so that we also, after that, we usher our guest of honor to go to another function. Thank you. Okay, there is cake, musiende, tukule keki kwanza. And then number 2, in your account, we'll send something for transports.